a country reeling from violent upheaval that turned into a brutal assault on the Bangladeshi minority Hindu community in India's neighborhood. Now, there was widespread arson, assault, murder, and sacred temples were desecrated. Law enforcement agencies still struggle to protect minority Hindus. India Today's Ashutosh Mishra is our man on ground, and he's taken grave risks to bring you this report from the epicenter of this crisis as Hindus across the world unite to say enough is enough.
A nation grappling with a violent regime change and the deadly aftermath. Which has seen orgy of violence sweeping through Bangladesh. Its minority Hindu population facing deadly attacks, arson, assault and murder. India Today reached Jamaat stronghold Meherpur, where the local ISKCON temple was burnt. Holy book of Bhagavad Gita burnt, idols smashed and charred. Portraits of deities vandalized. The survivors narrate stories of horror.
All of a sudden, the mob on 5th, when they came all over to vandalize and to destruct the properties. Look at this. These are all the footprints. These are the exclusive images. India Today, the first channel, is bringing you this report from the bordering areas and the bastion of the Jamaat Islami, where largely the extremist organizations carry out their activities. And on the day when in Dhaka, when we say the situation is coming to normalcy in Dhaka, when the protesters were carrying out protests, it engaged into the violence. Here the extremist element, literally ransacked the entire temple premises. All I see, the holy books, Bhagavad Gita, literally burned down. And, you really cannot find out what all the holy books, the religious books, all are kept here. Somehow the followers are still coming and trying to take whatever they could, whatever is left over in this violence. These are the holy books, the prayer books of the ISKCON group, everything has been burned down.
5 तारीख के पहले जब 5 बजे लगभग 5 से 5:30 बजे इधर से वो लोग आक्रमण पहले शुरू किया। आप देखते हैं इधर जो ईट जो स्टोन और पेट्रोल का बम है वो निक्षेप करने के लगा।
पेट्रोल बम लेकर के आए थे।
पेट्रोल बम, गोला बारूद, बहुत कॉकटेल भी, ग्रेनेड भी के लेके आया हमारा जो मंदिर तोड़ने के लिए, ढंग से करने के लिए। इसके बाद हम मंदिर पे लगभग 16 आदमी थे मंदिर पे।
एक बांग्लादेशी हिंदू, और देखिए सब कुछ जला दिया गया है, कमरे के भीतर हम हैं।
Similar ghastly attacks were witnessed by members of the local Hindu community.
What you see right behind me is a property, literally, a well-doing family, lawyer for 5 generations, Mr. Bhattacharya. The family was in Japan, and the mob, right after burning the temple, vandalizing the temple, they came here in the property and they burned down everything. All I see, the family members here, the holy Bhagavad Gita, the religious book that I see in my hand. You see, the things have been literally, this is how they literally targeted the Hindu families. There have been loot, there have been destruction of the properties, and these images are the documentary evidence that in remote areas, all we see only the reports from Dhaka. In fact, the Western media also saying everything about Dhaka remains calm, the situation is restoring to normalcy. But it was not only limited to Dhaka as far as the violence in engaging in atrocities against the minorities are concerned. Largely it happened in the remote areas. So you go to west, you go to south of Bangladesh, you go to northwest of Bangladesh, so all these places. And remember, there are often advisors, if you speak to the people, they will always say that probably it could not be safe for a media persons to go and report from these areas. We travel literally 275 kilometers to reach to this place and bring you these reports that how, the violence and the properties were looted.
The cops who should save the minorities are themselves vulnerable. It has now been left to the army to shield cops.
India today is at ground zero in Bangladesh, and as I travel towards the bordering areas where the situation remains to be tensed, the most concerning image that I see, the police and police station being protected by the Bangladeshi army. Right behind me you see there's a police station, the Meherpur police station, and right here is the headquarters. So the Meherpur police headquarters, where eventually the police personals are not locked, but they cannot go outside. Ever since the violence started, the police personnel also fear threat to their life. But what I see here is a police station, and the police forces are being guarded and protected by the Bangladeshi army.
Hindus in Bangladesh are now hitting the streets, staging protests in multiple Bangladesh cities against a genocidal attack which has been ignored by the global community. With Ashutosh Mishra in Meherpur, Bangladesh, Bureau Report, India Today.